This is why the motto, "You'll own nothing and be happy," is repeated gleefully again and again by the Weffites running around. Why? Because there's truth to it. People are walking towards a world where you can't even repair stuff. The right to repair? Look it up. You want to know why I don't like John Deere anymore? Well, it's very simple. It's really hard to repair this stuff. You can't just swap parts. It doesn't work anymore. Software prevents you from doing that. This is the world we're heading towards, a world where you control less and less. More and more decisions are made for you, not even by people, but by algorithms.
Crypto family, welcome back to the channel. Aaron here, coming back at you with another cryptocurrency video today. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We have new crypto videos coming out every single day. And in today's video, we'll be checking out Charles Hoskinson. I know you just saw him in the clip. He's going to be talking about the war on crypto that is currently going on in the U.S. government and how AI is going to help shape the future for cryptocurrency. In today's video, this is a recent interview that he did with Coin Bureau, and I just thought it was very interesting. He has a different perspective on AI than some of the other thought leaders out there in the space. So I wanted to share this with you guys. So make sure to watch to the end. It's a pretty good one. Let me know what you guys think. Put your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and check out the clip.
Already a war on crypto. Operation Choke Point 2.0 is underway. People are being debanked. Arbitrary rulings are coming in. The government, the courts are trying to remind it that it's a country of laws, and the executive branch is overstepped. And you got all these big transnational institutions like the World Bank and the BIS and others that are, led by Jabba the Hutt, and they are basically just coming at us as an industry. They're just doing it in a very silent and organized way. But it's very clear that they're trying to end cryptocurrencies. Look. There's risk, but at the end of the day, the stakes are high because it's about your children, it's about your future, it's about your economic agency. And there's plenty of people who take risk in life. I have a great security detail. Almost all of them serve military and war. And we ask people on a daily basis to defend freedom. And you have to set personally what your red lines are and what you feel as a human being, how you should be treated. Always, there's going to be somebody who shows up who says, you know what, I'm going to take your humanity from you. We see this in abusive relationships. Somebody will go and date somebody, and that person says, well, now you're not allowed to have friends unless I approve them, and I'm going to take over your bank account, and I'm going to take your credit card. And there's so many millions of people in relationships like that, and it's dehumanizing and destructive, and perhaps they don't want to break up because of family considerations or kids or economic dependency, but that doesn't make it right, doesn't make it moral, and no society should promote that. The single most abusive relationship we currently have right now is with our governments. They say they own us, and if we don't take care of them, they basically will put us in cages. Look at the U.S. financial policy right now. Every single thing I do anywhere in the world, they have to know about. And no matter where I live, and if they're involved in it or not, they get a big chunk of it. And then at the end of the day, even after I do every single thing they ask, they can just invent new laws on the fly and apply them retroactively. It's immoral, it's wrong, it's arbitrary, and it's an example of an abusive relationship. And the point of governance and institutional rights and constitutional rights is resetting these relationships so they're not abusive, toxic, and traumatic anymore. And we have to do this as a world. It is not okay for people to be dictators anymore in the 21st century. It's not okay to have kings anymore. We were the OG king killers in the United States. We're pretty good at it. That's why I don't really give a shit about what Meghan and Harry do these days. We had a war, so we didn't have to care about what they did. Okay, so we have to remind people again and again that laws require bilateral consent. And if laws are unjust, government actions are unjust, you, through the courts and the democratic process, resist them. And if they still stand up, then just like with apartheid in South Africa or other things, you become political prisoners. And there's certainly some people who will bear that brunt. But over the arc of history, whether it be Gandhi or Mandela, we will see it through. Because at the end of the day, all we're fighting for is honesty, immutability, transparency, irreversibility. All we're fighting for is inclusive accountability, where when you claim something, we can verify it ourselves. All we're fighting for is economic agency, where we're in charge of our money and the fruits of our property and our labors. All we're fighting for is protection of the minorities. That's what we're fighting for. And if people say that that's wrong or we shouldn't have the right to do that, what they're really saying under the hood is not all humans are created equally. And some are betters over others, and you have to get in line for betters. You know what? We're past that as a species. So you have to establish red lines, and you have to fight for those red lines. And you just look at it in a very personal way, like an abusive relationship. And what you do is you have immutable things, and if they violate them, you end the relationship. and you move on. And governments are no different. 100%. The doctrine of replace don't be evil with can't be evil. Google had don't be evil across their whole company, and they had a guy whose day job was to scrub it and remove every reference to don't be evil. I can't remember the exact year they did it, but it was somewhere in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Well, they did it because shareholders are shareholders, and money is money, and they knew who their bosses were. And they've always had a very uncomfortable relationship with the CIA and the FBI and others. Well, now let's be can't be evil. So let's recognize that perhaps humans are really bad judges of fairness and equality, and no matter how much we want to write it down and pretend it's true, we're going to violate it when it's inconvenient to us. And so let's make it like the laws of physics, where no matter how inconvenient gravity is to us, we're all kind of constrained by it. We have to accept its consequences. And then once you have a social system built on those bedrocks, you have integrity. And with integrity, people can trust each other again. And if they can trust each other, they can work with each other. And when we work together, we can build a better world. Well, there's a few trends here that are problematic. First off, when you look at increases of productivity, typically productivity is paired with more time, more money. So as productivity goes up, you work less of the week, but you get the same lifestyle as if you were working more of the week. This was true until 1971, when we went off the gold standard and the correlation broke. So we are now actually working more and we have less money. So the way the economic system is built with inflationary monetary policy does not promote distribution of the productivity gains. And the problem with AI is it's a winner takes all system. So once you get good at it, you can reduce your staff by 90% and all that money floats to the top and there's no trickle down there. Sorry, Reagan. And that's a bad situation. So that's one dimension that is very problematic. Second problematic dimension is that all technology in human history has always been an intelligence augmenter. So, the farmer gets mechanization and the farmer suddenly is 10 times or 100 times more efficient, but ultimately the farmer is still making the decisions of what to plant, how to plant it, where to plant it. And, based on those decisions, we'll either starve or thrive. Well, this is the first time with generative AI where the actual creativity, the actual underlying decision making is not done by humans and augmented by technology, but rather it's done by technology. So what ends up happening is you have like an alien intelligence where the ship falls out of the sky and it's got the anti-grav drive and the weapon systems, and you don't know how the ray gun works. You just know how to pull the trigger, and if it breaks, you have no idea how to fix it, and you don't know the consequences of it. So social credit is a great example of that in China, where they're basically creating an algorithm-driven society where the bureaucrats themselves don't even know why your score is low or high. They just know it's low or high, and they know how to react. And thus, because you don't know that, no one can tell you that, you basically have an alien in charge of society. And so the problem is, if all the big innovations that come in the 21st century are now being driven in part by LLMs, we have this great black boxification of knowledge, where we don't know where we got it, we don't know why we have it, but it's there, we rely on it, we use it, but we have no idea how to fix it, change it, or what the consequences long-term of it. So basically what happens is you have a wisdom death, where you just basically lose this meta property of understanding why things work, how they work. A great example is, in the 1950s, my grandfather bought a vacuum cleaner. And when we helped him clean out his basement in the 90s, we found that vacuum cleaner. And what blew my mind was the vacuum cleaner had an owner's manual, and the owner's manual actually showed you how to fix the vacuum cleaner. It had detailed schematics inside of it. It showed you where to get the parts from, what the parts did. And I said, wow, this must have been like a special order or something. And my grandfather told me, no, this was the expectation we had in the 1950s. Anytime you bought an appliance, you had to know how to fix the appliance. You had not only the right to do it, but there was a whole ecosystem around these repairs. Now, everything is disposable. If your cell phone breaks, your computer breaks, you just throw it away, you get another one. Nobody knows how it works. It's magic box. It's just completely integrated and you can't fix it. There's no right to repair anymore. Well, that's what humans are doing. If you put it on AI, it's steroids. So it can be tremendously liberating, but the way the economic system is built, the way we value things, and also the way that technology is being used right now, I think it actually dehumanizes us, and it puts us in a position where we basically have less control over the way the world works and the things work. I think we need to actually reevaluate capitalism and reevaluate the entire economic order with these new technologies. And we need to start moving to like a multi-currency system where you have currencies that are earned through different means and they're valued different means. Carbon credits are kind of an example of that, but it needs to be taken a different direction. But I haven't formulated those thoughts well enough to be able to go into depth about them. Like Balaji, I got to write a book about it. He wrote The Network State, and I think I could probably pull something together. Going back to free time, I'm just too busy right now for all these things, and we're too tactical for this stuff.
And thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you found any value, make sure to hit that like button. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Definitely love to hear from you. My name is Aaron from the Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a great rest of your day.